Hi there. My review today is on the movie Meet the Spartans. Before I get to that, I want to talk about another movie for a little bit called Epic Movie. Now, Epic Movie, I've heard a lot about that movie. You know, I've seen trailers to that movie. I've heard people talk about it on YouTube and spill about it, and you know, from what I understand of that movie, it wasn't even remotely funny. So I should have known better than to go see this Jason Freiberg film called Meet the Spartans. Now, this movie's kind of similar to that movie because you have all the characters from the previous year's film. All on one film made into one big spoof. Like, for instance, in the beginning of the movie, we see a baby Shrek, we see Carmen Electra in a black Spidey suit, we see Ghost Rider, Rocky, and then towards the end of the film, the Persian God King turns into a big Transformer robot. Now, the movie is mostly, though, a 300 spoof. And the storyline is similar or is like 300, except in a comical, silly, humorous sense. Now, as far as the humor in this movie, they tried to use the same kind of humor as like Monty Python type humor, Mel Brooks type humor, and but they didn't do a very good job of it. You know, they tried to use that same kind of humor like in those older comedy movies, like Airplane or Police Squad, those kind of movies. And they just didn't do a very good job. It just didn't. Don't get me wrong. There were certainly moments in the film where I did laugh. I had a good laugh, and I thought it was, some of that humor was pretty good. But most of the time, there was really nothing to laugh at. A lot of the humor was kind of dumb. Some of it was cheesy. It was like, for instance, you hear a joke that's trying to sound funny, but it really isn't funny, and you're like, okay, that kind of thing. There was one thing I liked about the movie, and you guys out there probably feel the same way too if you see the movie, is Carmen Electra. I mean, she is a beautifully gorgeous woman, and I love looking at Carmen Electra because, if you see this movie, you'll like that part of the movie. But other than that, like I said, the comedy, some of the comedy in the movie was kind of cheesy. But there were moments when it did make me laugh, but overall, I wasn't too crazy about this movie, I mean, it could have been better, and it should have been, they could have done better with the writing and the comedy, but the movie just, the thing is, I just was not happy with this movie, and usually the thing I don't like doing is spending $10 on a movie. I mean, I don't know how it is in the overseas, but here in the States, there's this movie company called Regal, and they charge you $10 to see a movie for admission. And this movie, I mean, $10 for a movie. Sometimes the movie's not even any good. And you're spending $10. I mean, what's even worse is like the concession stands. Like what, $5 for a small Coke, or $10 for a bag of popcorn, medium-sized popcorn. It's outrageous. Next time I'll bring my own freaking snacks. That's what I usually do. I sneak my own stuff in there sometimes. But other than, I mean, I hate to spend money on a movie like this. I mean, I probably shouldn't have seen it. But it really wasn't, wasn't that great of a movie. I mean, what next? I mean, are they going to have like another spoof type thing, like next year? let's see, we're going to have another spoof. We'll have Indiana Jones, Iron Man, the Hulk, Batman, Hellboy, Rambo, maybe throw some Star Trek characters in there, you know, and make it into one big spoof movie all over again with bad, you know, comedy and everything else. I mean, please, give me a break. I mean, if you're going to do a comedy, do it right, you know. Do it with better, you know, acting, better humor. I mean, you know, but this movie, I mean, as bad as I've heard about Epic Movie, you know, I've heard that Epic Movie was a bad movie, and as bad as I heard about that movie, I mean, they might as well, you know, this might as well just be a sequel to Epic Movie, because it's, you know, it's made by the same guy, you know. So my grade on this movie is I'd give it a C and a mild thumbs down. You know, Carmen Electra was nice, you know, and some things made me laugh, but overall there was a lot of cheese in this film, and you know, that's my review on this. So everybody, have a good day. All right, bye.